when you do get a funded account with a lot of these prop firms, they don't let you trade the news as you normally would. And there's a lot more rules to how consistently you have to trade, or they will shut down your account. So my thought process has been, get funded as fast as I can. And then once my account is actually funded, kind of dial back my risk a bit, take the same exact setups, don't switch the strategy, take the exact same setups, but just scale back your position sizes, your contract sizes, just so you can trade consistently and profitably, and you don't have to worry about them, sending you an email saying you're trading too erratic, or, show us your strategy because it looks like you're just taking random entries. That way you don't have to really worry about that part on the consistency. So keep that in mind as well, because I don't want a lot of people to get these funded accounts and then they go and try to trade it crazy just because it's funded and they know it's real money, and then all of a sudden they still lose their accounts. So keep that in mind, guys. But if you do trade the news, do it only on the evals to pass it quick, and then after that just trade normally, and then you should be able to see those payouts. All right. Let's see. FEG zones that are closer to the high or low are more important. Yes. So Gretchen, so those are my key areas. So like I said earlier, most people are trying to trade every single FEG, which is not really the point of it. You really want to focus on the ones that are close to the recent highs and the recent lows. Like just like how here you had this price action here at 2 o'clock based on the FOMC news. It got filled here, but there was a big FEG zone right here. So that's where price react. Just like how down here we had that down move, that opening bell, look where it reacted to previous FEG, the bigger zones at the low. So those are your key areas to look for your entries, versus what I see a lot of people doing. They just try to trade at any given point at any given time. And if you're kind of in the middle of these zones here, that's where typically you're going to get chopped up, right? But if you kind of narrow down your entries to the highs and lows and just use the FEGs in those areas, especially the bigger ones, that way you have far less risk because the trade is more high probable. And even when you're taking your entries, your stop is going to be a lot tighter than if you're taking a trade in the middle of a zone and your stop has to be, 40, 50 points or whatever it is, right? So definitely, Gretchen, take those entries at the highs and lows of the FEG. All right. Somebody said, what's the yellow line? So the yellow line is the 5 EMA, and then the red is the 13, Frankie.
And I like to just add, when you look at everybody FPGs, you look at the rails and you look at mines, we all customize it. He used the regular FPGs. I changed mine to yellow. I changed mine to yellow and red. And so let me just show them real quick on my screen.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is where you see that, we all use the same strategy, but we make it ours, where we see when I go in my FPG and I edit the settings, I go in and I make them a different color, yellow and red. And you see mine is white, and then I have a dash line on a border width. It's the same strategy, but everybody customizes it to what stands out to them. And so you'll see here, the FPG here, and this is where I thought it was going to hit, right? 38.57, and it was on bounce. But I got out at 38.60 just because it was on this call, and I wanted to take the profits. And, right around this level here is where I thought I was on sign. So I just use yellow, and I customize them on all my screens, right? I use yellow and red, and then, we both use the 200 and the 800. I use with the rail, but I make mine, white and yellow. So, and then this is a trend indicator. So when you're looking at our strategies, it's not for you to copy somebody's, it's to make it yours. So this way, you know exactly what it is. And that's how, for me, it is, I want to make sure that I understand what I'm doing. And that's why I always change the colors or whatever. So this way, if I look at the Rails chart, or I look at Mike's or Brandon, it might be the same strategy. It's just that I make it mine, where it's like, I understand what's on my screen, right? And this way, I always customize it. And so that's why if you take the alligator or anything you have, it's not to copy it. It is to make it yours, so you understand, what you're looking at. And so a lot of people don't trade off the 3-minute chart, the 23-minute. I do that because I do it off of repetition. And then now I know it's mine, right? So when I shared with Darrell that, hey, I used a 3-minute chart and he used a 5 and a 13, I used a 13 and 21. And it's not to be different. It is just that I get used to using 13 and 21 on a 3-minute and a 5-minute, and I understand what's happening. And that is something that, it takes some time, but our goal, and I posted, is like, it's not for you to copy and be dependent on Darrell's strategy or Brandon. It is to make it yours so you be independent. And you know exactly what's going on your screen. Right. And that's, that's what makes us all masterminds, is that, once it's Darrell's strategy and I take it and I modify it a little bit, it's mine now. Once you take the alligator, it's yours now, because no matter what I do on my screen, he's not gonna make money off of what I did. He makes money off what he does. And if I just made $400 or $500, it's based on what I did. I'll push the button. So then if it doesn't work, it's still based on what I did. It's not that I lost money because the real strategy didn't work. It's I lost money because I didn't trade it right. Right? It's like people asking like, well, where do you expect it to go? But I'll still get out early because it's about how much money am I willing to, like, what do I see and what do I feel? So that is, just food for thought, right? It's really Barry Parker. He took the ceiling and floor and he made a whole nother strategy, and it's dope. And so when I see all the traders doing different things, it's like, man, at the end of the day, it's just about being either profitable, preserving capital, and making money, and that's what makes us all special. And the sooner you learn that, in this way, you're not dependent on somebody's signal. You're not dependent on, even after you lead a mastermind, you're going to have this forever. And you know exactly what your strategy is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Sonia said, what is your stop loss at? So my stop, Sonia, is, let me share my screen again. All right. So my stop, Sonia, is either going to be 10 points or either the most recent high or low, that's within proximity of the FVG. So what I mean by that is if I'm taking entries based on this news here at 2, so how does this wick came right into the FVGs here? If I'm taking the entries here, which is where you should be, my stop is going to be right above wherever this high is right here. So, roughly 38.98. Or my default based on my Ninja Trader strategy here, like if I edit it here, is 40 ticks. So that's basically 10 points. So if I'm taking an entry here at 38.92, my stop loss is automatically going to be set at 39.02, which would be up here. But like I said, if I see the recent high is actually less ticks than the 10 points that my strategy automatically has it at, I will actually stick with that versus the 10 points, because 9 times out of 10, if it's going to break this high anyway, it's probably going to push up some more. So why give away that extra 3-4 points worth of loss essentially, if you can cut it right at the high. So I hope that makes sense.
All right.
All right, let me check this.
Yeah, let me show them one thing since we're still talking about that.
Yep.
And so on the reversal, right? On this screen here on TradingView, you can have your custom times, right? And so I trade off the 3-minute when I see these charts, but then I hit the 2-minute, and then when I see a reversal, when I see an FVG, it's lined up right here at this BMT floor, and this is where I would go long at. As long as it don't drop below this FVG, then I stay in the trade. And now I know here's the 2 windows here, right? And then this beast mode indicator that we just shared, that was out of Elite, we put it inside the Facebook group. So if you're not reading the chat, we plan to share a lot more with you, but I want to make sure that people know that it becomes yours. And this is how I use it. So I trade between the 3-minute, 2-minute, and so I'll take the short here, and then when a reversal, I was looking for this yellow line, and it now tells me don't go short no more, right? And so the 3-minute, 2-minute, and then it also lines up with this one over here. Because remember when it was dropping, I looked over here and I said, hey, here's where I plan for it to stop. And it's like, why didn't you stay in the trade longer then? If that's where you thought it was, it's like, because if I take my eyes off of it for a minute or two, it can reverse back up and shoot back up and eat all my profits. So in futures, it moves 1 minute, 2 minutes. Like if you look at this is a 1 minute, this is a 2 minute candlestick. And it moved, almost $100 just in that 2 minutes. So on scalping, I showed a scalping strategy. I showed a scalping strategy where basically, I was going in and getting 50 and $100, and I did it like 8 times in a row. Just $50 here, $100 here, $50 here, and it was like $500 in 30 minutes. And so for 2023, guys wanted to know, like, here's kind of how we've structured. The trade secrets is what you guys see in the Facebook now. The trading school, we want guys to go through there that's new to DCG so they can kind of learn just the foundation before they start looking at all these profit calls and everything else. Then we had a mastermind. And then we plan to do, things outside of the mastermind, like these overnight events that I plan to have more. And then there's a elite group, basically imitation of guys that want to trade and test out some of the things we're doing. And then, we plan to have a DCG fund that's coming, and that's kind of our level 6 that I don't want to, share anyone, but I don't advertise the 4 and 5 and the 6. You got to be inside of DCG for those to even get invited inside those. So, that's kind of, if you guys see something and see guys like, outside, nobody knows about 4, 5, and 6. And I'm not going to be talking about a DCG fund or a hedge fund or equity or partnerships that we have, in public. That's only going to be something behind these closed doors that we have in these overnight events. People won't know about them unless they're inside the mastermind, right? And we plan to have a lot more of them, but they'll be smaller. So one of the things is that in February, I'm taking a couple of members. We do have annual, so we kind of cleared it out. Guys that want a discount on the mastermind and want to sign up for the entire year, we will have that, and then they'll get invited to some of these special events, as part of the membership. And that's kind of like a commitment, on both sides of saying that, hey, before I didn't do that because I wanted the month to month. So in February or in January and December, we kind of, you guys may not have noticed, but we kind of cut like 50 members. And it's really, we want the energy to be right. We want guys who want to be independent and free. And this way, the guys that are here benefit from all the things that we do because these rooms are smaller, right? It's not like I could have took 20 people, 50 people to Vegas, and we had a suite inside Cosmo. It fit 10 people. In Carlsbad, we'll be there in February. It'll only be about 5 or 10 DCG members. Well, really, it'll only be 2. But then we'll have some overnight events where guys want to trade for the weekend or on the weekdays. The mastermind experience, it'll be different. Normally we charge like $1,000 or $2,000 to come to those experiences. This year it might be $500, but then we'll have a special room, and it may go into Monday. So this year the event might be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Saturday and Sunday just for the members that really don't have the funds to save 3 days in San Diego, and the ones that want to trade and go behind and trade together. We'll probably have a special day on Monday. So we're just making things where everybody can be included, and that requires a lot more coordination, a lot more participation from the members, and that is some of the things that's going to be new in January. We're working it out with a hedge fund, an equity fund. They're losing money right now. All the equity funds out there, the venture capitalists, they've been buying, right? And they have all these assets that are underwater now. It means that they've bought real estate buildings, they bought tech companies, they've been investing in things. And what has happened in the last 6 months, 12 months? Everything that they bought is down. So they're no longer investing in long term in anything. And so what do? They say, man, where can we make up money for our investors that it can be short term, that we don't have to make a large term commitment? Well, it's trading, right? Even the hedge funds are now saying, hey, look, man, we need to be in the markets because there's opportunity for us to make money even when the market goes down. right? And now they can make a little bit of money, but what happens? Computers and automation don't work, right? It doesn't work long term. They need actual people. And where do they get people that can trade crypto, stocks, options, right? Stocks and futures are regulated. You have to have a commission license to, hire traders. They need to be licensed. Well, options and crypto, you don't need that, right? Anybody can trade options and anybody can trade crypto. So, they're looking at it like, well, damn, it's an opportunity there. And so we will see the crypto market moving up, because even though people have lost money in crypto and these hedge funds, now they're saying, look, we've already lost money. We don't know how it works. So we need to get guys that's been trading. And then all of a sudden they find people like me and all the guys in the mastermind like, hey, what kind of deal can we work out?